Hey, welcome back, everybody. He is an Emmy Award-winning actor you know from The Newsroom, Godless, and To Kill a Mockingbird on Broadway. He now stars as former FBI Director James Comey in Showtime's miniseries The Comey Rule. Please welcome to A Late Show, Mr. Jeff Daniels. Hello, Jeff Daniels.
Stephen, how are you?
I'm doing okay, all things considered. How are you?
I'm okay. I got a little bit of a mullet going.
Oh
So
yeah,
do
look,
you.
look at that. I got a
Bringing it back, baby.
little
Bringing it
ski
back.
lift. This is very late 70s for me right
Yeah,
now.
that happens. That happens a lot.
I want to talk to you about this, the James Comey, the Comey rule. You play James Comey. Now you're 6'3", but Comey is 6'8". How do you act those extra 5 inches?
Um, it's tough. I harken back to the days when Robert De Niro did Raging Bull and he put on 60 pounds. And you immediately think, well, then I need to be 6'8". How do I do that? And it's the joke. You've seen Raging Bull one too many times when you're going, I need lifts, which is what I got. I could have done the Alan Ladd Jr. thing. Remember him?
Yeah.
40s, 50s. He was 5'6" tall, and they would cast the other actors and they would build a trench so that the taller actor would be lower and they would walk down towards the saloon. I could have done that, but they said no. So all the lifts, I put 2-inch lifts in,
Wow.
6 foot, that got me up to 6'5", and then,
Wow.
then I just said, hell, I'll just act the rest of it. Otherwise it was a call to Elton John, which I wasn't going to do.
Could you feel like you could dunk up there?
He's not 6'8", he's 7'12". He is as tall as
Have
a
you met
tree.
him? Have you met the guy?
Yes.
Okay,
And
yeah.
I'm in my lifts and I'm going, Director Comey.
Yeah. He's like those aliens that come out of the ship at the end of Close Encounters. It's just all these long limbs, and he just picks people up by the skull and puts them someplace
Yes.
else. Now, how do you feel about Comey? Because people have a lot of, mixed feeling about him. I've had mixed feelings about him over the years. Sometimes you feel like, oh, is a hero doing the right thing? And sometimes he feels like a guy who shanked it for, perhaps self-preservation or egotistical reasons. It's hard to know at times. How did you feel about Comey going in to play him, and how do you feel now on the other side of having done that?
I think the biggest impact way back in 2016 was October when they reopened the investigation into her emails.
Sure.
And if anything, I was going, what is this guy thinking? But you end up learning what he's thinking. You read the book,
Sure.
you do the movie, and you start to understand that it wasn't as simple as what you might see on your Twitter feed. That it's complicated. The guy was caught between a rock and a hard place time after time after time. He also has this thing about the rule of law and the sacredness of the Department of Justice and what is right, and facts are facts, and truth is really truth. There's only one truth. Those are sacred to him. They're bigger than he is, and he was in the middle of a tsunami of none of that matters. We're still in it. And Jim, what I learned was that he is an apolitical public servant. We didn't know what that was. October of 2016, we were too worried about Billy Bush and oh my God, it's Hillary's emails, and oh my God, Comey, what is it's like we're all doing this. And he led the way for people like Fiona Hill, Marie Yovanovitch, William Taylor, Colonel Vindman, for God's sake, others. Jim was like the first apolitical public servant. I mean, talk about an alien. We didn't know what that looked like. We're so politically left and right, and that we don't know what apolitical, which is what Jim had to do, aiming at the rule of law. Anytime somebody came in and said, well, you can't do this because of the political, talk to the hand. He had to stay true to that apolitical kind of pointing towards the rule of law and the sacredness of that.
Do you think it affected the election? Because I think the effect on the department is self-evident.
I think he had an impact on the election, certainly.
Okay.
That was rock and a hard place.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's
Newell.
all at his feet. I'm not laying it all at his feet.
No,
But
no, no. I'm not, I won't either. But it certainly had an impact on it, and that's what made those decisions so difficult. And that's what the movie shows you. It shows you a rock and a hard place. These are the things if he does this. These are the things if he does that. Stop the movie. What would you do? And that's just story. That's us trying to go. Put yourself in his shoes and put your Twitter feed down, and you decide, because he had to. The other things that in doing it that I look back on now, he came out with that because Giuliani was going to come out 2 days later and leak it. WikiLeaks was going to come out with the 33,000 emails. This is, in October. The mainstream media jumped on that. That's red meat. That's a big story. That's eyeballs. That's ratings. And they stayed on that. And until the best story out of that would have been Hillary's guilty. They found something criminal 3 days before the election. Oh my God, oh my God. Red meat, even bigger story. But they didn't. They found nothing. So they released that information. Not as big a story. And then you got the American electorate. This is back in October 2016. We're not really paying attention. We're informed, but not really. A lot of people in this country are going, you know what, Trump, the businessman running the country, maybe it's time for that. And I'll get my taxes cut. And you know what? He's going to have 10 people around him who are going to stop him from doing something stupid and dangerous. So I'm going to not vote for Hillary or vote for Trump. There are people out there like that. I live around them. And it ended up being that we weren't paying attention. We weren't as informed as we should have been. Now those 10 people are gone. He fired them. He got rid of them. We're 4 years later. And maybe the Comey Rule will end up being, something that helps inform people that there's another side to this story. The one side is Trump says Comey's a liar. Okay, this is the other side. You're also going to learn stuff about why he did what he did, and that maybe there's a shared responsibility going into this election in 2020.
well, as you imply with what you're saying right there, the leading up to the election is only part of the story. Then there's actually under the Trump administration and Comey's relationship with Trump and everything that happened there, leading up to Comey being fired. Spoiler alert. That gets me to a question I have about the release of this movie. Originally, this movie was supposed to come out before the election, and then for reasons I don't understand, and I'm wondering whether you do, it was moved to being released after the election. And then you, the director, other people who worked on this, from the articles that I've read, say that you would never have done this to come out after the election, and it got moved up before the election. Can you walk me through what happened there? Do you know why it was moved till after the election? Where did that decision come from?
Up high, at a corporate level that I'm not privy to.
Well, I'm not privy to it either, and I work here.
Yeah, I know. Well, okay. I mean, we were I was doing Mockingbird at the time. Had to go right into Comey because we got to have it delivered by May of the following year. And they're going to release it in the summer or the fall before the election. That's why everybody signed on. People at Showtime, everybody. And then all of a sudden it stopped. Nobody talked to me for 2 months while this was going on. And then at the end of May, I get a Zoom call with Billy and Jim Comey and the producer saying it's going to be after the election and we had to fight to get it before Thanksgiving. And I said, okay, when was somebody going to talk to me about this? Because they're going to want me to promote this, right? And they said, yes, you'll get the promotion schedule next week. Okay, well, they're not going to want me to be in front of a microphone. So I'm out. I wouldn't be sitting here with you. That's not the deal. This is not why we all signed up. It's not that we want to, bury Trump, but it is that we want to keep people informed. We want to be part of the national conversation. We want to be relevant. And to some, it was an attack on Trump. I'm hearing. So because again, nobody's talked to me. Nobody's talked to me about it. It's corporate. It's all that. I'm going, okay, the only card I got to play is I'm not in it. Delete. And that's what I did.
What do you want people to learn from it before they go vote?
Get informed. just get informed, not only about Jim Comey and what his side of the story might have been. You might learn something. I sure did. And then if that fuels your outrage, then this is an opportunity. November 3rd is an opportunity for this country and all of those people who are so angry and so outraged about so many things to open the door to a new America. It really is. It's a crossroads. It's a D-Day. It's a modern day D-Day. And we got the 200,000 people dead to prove it. This is a big election. It's a crossroads for this country. And if you want a new America, you better vote. And you better get out the vote. You better help people get their mail-in ballots to the clerk. Get energized. Because it's a big deal. This is it. This is it. Otherwise, we're going to have a royal family, and we're going to have more of this insanity for another 4 to 8 to 12 years. Buckle up for that.
Jeff, we have to take a quick break, but stick around, everybody. We'll be right back with more Mr. Jeff Daniels.